Back with more sex education. This is episode 8 of season 1, and my god, I'm hyped because this is the season 1 finale. Can't wait to see how they're going to wrap all this up. I assume set up next season as well. I don't know like how complete the story it may be because, you know, I'm sure they'd never know for sure if they're going to get another season. So I'm interested in seeing how things kind of end off this time around. But luckily, we know there is a season 2 and there's a season 3 coming as well. So that we can enjoy. But yeah, I absolutely have like adored the hell out of the show so far. I'm really excited to see where they're going to take things and wrap up, given how the last episode went. Oh boy, that was drama everywhere you turned. So lots going on with love triangles and all that jazz. Eric and Otis are friends again, which is wonderful. Adam and his dad had a lot of tension. Jackson and Maeve, there's a lot going on there, and Jackson drunkenly revealed that Otis kind of helped him get Maeve, so now that's not gone particularly well, and it's a mess. Jackson had a fight with his mum, so now I guess he's just going to stay with Maeve for a bit. There's a lot going on, and it ended off right at the end with Otis finding Jean's book that I assume she's written all about him. So that's not going to go down particularly well either. So yes, lots to kind of address and wrap up in this episode. So I'm keen to see how they do it, but I'm sure they found a very fun, hilarious way of doing so. Probably a bit awkward as well because, you know, that's the show. Either way, very excited to see how season 1's going to wrap up. So let's get into it.
Lord Sorta. Oh, retreat! Oh, retreat! Oh, what are we doing?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't expect you to, like, say it back or anything, yeah?
Okay.
Well, that's good.
I made some notes on your book.
Oh,
What
no.
about me? You should consider using a thesaurus in the future. Your vocabulary is very limited.
Otis, let's talk about
Oh!
sex in a rational way.
Do you like Ola? Yeah, I do. A lot.
And why did you call her a goat?
It's a good question.
That's a lot.
Oh, he thinks they're selling
Don't
drugs.
know about your drug ring.
Oh, no.
They're mine.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, don't cover for him. You might get... Ah!
I trusted you, Otis.
But
Oh, ah.
We're particularly interested in the connection you have with the subject. It's so personal, we really feel it.
Oh, no, no, no.
Oh. Oh, God.
Oh, who should we call?
Or maybe you're unconsciously halting your progress to stay in control.
But I want to have sex, so why would I do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's what he's dealing with.
I need you have company.
Oh, God's sake. Whoa.
You just can't help yourself. It's like you want to consume me. You're like the
Yeah.
spider ones that eat their own offspring. Like you think
His
I'm
problems
part
are
of you.
her material now.
I'm fixing your mother's sink as a favour for my father. It's not about you.
Oh.
She shows you every day that she loves you. What's the problem? Might be annoying, but at least she cares.
Yeah, her mum's not around, I suppose.
If I get in, I'll probably mess it up somehow. I always do.
Oh, don't say that.
I'll save up and we'll rent a place and we can really get our shit together.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Really proud of you, sis.
Thanks.
I mean, that's nice, but... What if she gets kicked out of school or some shit because of your drugs? Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh! 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 Under the pillow, that's not great.
Were you born a bully or are you one because your dad's one? I saw you at the dance.
Well, This is gonna make more mess, isn't it? Right. Okay. Well, okay. That.
So what does this
I don't know how I feel about that.
hill?
You are going to ride down this hill to face your fears.
I don't want to fuck a hill.
Just trust me on this one.
What about you?
Yes. Go on. Yeah. That would be fun. Just don't crash into a tree and die. Oh no. He was killed instantly.
I just don't want to be left behind.
Aww.
We just rode down this hill for no reason, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know, you had a nice chat.
If you ever tell anyone about this, I will fucking end you. Do you understand?
Oh, that noise.
I can also gauge the depths of Mr. Hendricks' personal despair based on his choice of Hawaiian shirt. I'm really smart.
Hell yeah, you are.
I just got unlucky in the family department.
Oh.
Until we do so, you are barred from campus.
The vows are
Jesus.
shaped to stop them
That guy sucks.
in-
Okay.
Do you love me? Just say you don't.
I don't.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, that must be awful to hear. Oh.
This isn't about my future, sir. This is about your sports funding.
No, it's... Yes, okay.
I'll swim.
Oh, fantastic.
If you let Maeve Wiley stay at school, you can't expel her. Want me to swim, then she stays.
What an absolute champion.
I heard you're getting expelled, cockfighter.
I heard you can fuck off.
Back to the... What the hell are you doing? I'm dumping you. For her.
Yes!
Are you mental?
No, you're dressed like the fucking Power Rangers. Piss off.
You want to play some Smash Bros?
Oh, I can't. I've got detention.
He's already played Smash Bros already.
I'm not stalking you, I promise. I was passing and I just went...
I'm not stalking you, I'm just following your every movement.
Some of it is your fault. A lot of it's Dad's fault, but mostly it's me.
You're 16. You're not supposed to know the answers to anything.
Aww.
You're going to be just fine.
Here's something I need to do. But I'll be back. I'll be back later.
Say sorry to Maeve or to Ola? To both?
You can go. Get out of here.
I think he's almost hoping Adam would come.
Madam? Madam, come here. Come here.
Hey! Oh, please don't tell me he's gone.
Sean?
Oh.
Mom, don't make me go.
Oh no.
It's what your father wants.
But his dad's a dick.
My son is the most important person in my life. And he really likes your daughter.
Yeah.
Furious if he found out.
God damn it. God damn it. Jesus. Well, okay. That might be an issue, but probably for next season, eh?
I really like cats. House cats, in particular. I like them.
And that's why you're here, isn't
way
it? Because
more
he
than
likes cats.
Don't you take that tone with me, young lady. Very rude.
Don't you take that tone with her!
We had a big bag with him.
Oh no.
Okay. Thanks, Cynthia. Jonathan?
Yes, nice hat, Jonathan.
Did you say? I didn't take bribes. I suggest you forget about Maeve Wiley.
Oh, you dick! Oh, he got that for Maeve. that should have been hers.
You're the smartest person I've ever met, and this award is yours.
Aww. Damn.
Do you want to kiss me?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Stop talking and do it then.
No, don't watch them. Don't. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. I want to die. I want to throw myself in front of a bus. Ah. At least she has someone there with her. Not the character arc you see every day on TV. Well, good for him, I guess. Okay, so that's season 1 of Sex Education. Somehow. Man, what an amazing finale to an incredible season. I can't wait to get into season 2 when we next cycle back to this show. Yeah, that was a really great episode. Lots of twists and turns in there, lots of really kind of almost cathartic moments, I think, in some character arcs, but also, you know, stuff left open, stuff left on more so kind of cliffhangers, a lot of lingering threads that haven't been like neatly tied up, and will need to be addressed next season, I would assume. So yeah, I really loved a lot of what they did with it. Obviously, you're like, oh, I kind of want Otis and Maeve to be together, but it's a lot, because it's not like Ola's a bad person either, and I think those two will be quite sweet together. And alongside that, you have like everything with Jean and Jakob, and that's going to cause quite the stir as well when that will come about. But my God, I was actually worried that there was going to be too much for them to address in this episode, like all of that to kind of wrap up and stuff. But because they left a few things lingering and everything, I think it was actually very well balanced. And I think like Adam, for example, has kind of been on the back burner really. Like, he's kind of felt like a main character, but not really, because he hasn't really had that much screen time, I don't think, this season, really. I feel like the most he had to do was in episode 1 until this episode. And my God, did they take his character in different directions in this one. So kind of evening out the balance of characters, I thought they did quite well for this one. And yeah, lots of interesting stuff for next season. Where do we even begin? I mean, I wrote down Lily first, because obviously the episode started off with her and all of that. I mean, she committed to the bit, and very sad that it didn't quite go her way there. But I really like Lily and Otis in terms of like a friendship pairing, and I hope we get a bit more of that next season. I feel like those two, in a way, are going through similar-ish problems. I like that they kind of tried to face them together, even if they didn't necessarily need to, with the whole, you know, going down the hill on the bike thing. But I do think Lily's like an absolute sweetheart and a very wholesome person. And the fact that, you know, all her antics this season have kind of come from a real deep, understandable, I would say as well, insecurity about feeling like, oh, you know, I'm not caught up on this compared to everyone else. You know, everyone else is ahead of me in terms of like having sex and stuff like that. And she doesn't want to get left behind and stuff, and she moves on to the next stages of life. And, I really liked that she kind of opened up about that, and when her experience with that guy from the dance didn't quite go the way she'd hoped, she still went to Otis for advice on it and everything, even after their really awkward experience, because she knows like Otis as himself, and that awkward side to him isn't the same as his therapist side, in which he really excels. So I like that she still trusted him with that. So yeah, that was really nice to kind of see her get a lot of focus in this one, see her story kind of line up with his, and I think they've both found some sort of peace with it. Well, Otis for sure certainly did, given the final scene, because obviously that's been plaguing him this entire season. So I liked that in a way. You know, it feels strange to talk about. Oh yeah, I really liked that storyline when Otis could finally have a wank. It feels strange, you know, to be like, yeah, you go. But just the way he kind of was rising up from his bed like into the sky and stuff, how they shoot that scene, it, you know, there's a nice callback to earlier in the season when he was trying in the bathroom stall, I think it was, and it seemed like he was just like zooming far away from the cubicle and everything. So I like how that kind of came full circle, and he had a very unique character arc in terms of what he couldn't do at the start and now could do to end the season. And just again, I think a huge kind of kudos needs to go to all the actors who have to do those kind of really awkward, uncomfortable scenes. Like even Lily and that guy at the start, like playing along to that fantasy, you know. I feel like they could have had a lot of fun with that, and I feel like they do have fun with these really more awkward sexual scenes in the show. But I like that they didn't shy away from it either. It's good because it's very realistic and people still, you know, people do those things. But also it makes it a bit easier to edit YouTube cuts because I can't include that stuff. So that's a nice positive in terms of just being a reactor. So yeah, I enjoyed everything with that, and Lily and Otis's kind of issues coming together in a really interesting, satisfying way for both of them. So I think Lily's kind of found a bit of peace, and we saw that Otis did as well through him taking that chance with Ola, and I guess they're going to be a thing next season, which is going to be painful because obviously Maeve, I think, went to tell him that she liked him with everything, and then she saw that. I mean, that's obviously very dramatic and contrived and everything, but I kind of live for that shit, so it's okay. They'll probably drag that out, but you know, next season we have a whole other season now for Maeve and Otis to maybe make some of that. But also, I don't want to take away from Otis and Ola's relationship, because the fact that he, you know, wants to be with her, he took that step with her, is a huge step for Otis in his kind of personal growth in his journey as well. So I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, this is fine, but let's just get to her and Maeve getting together, and let's just do that now. Because this is a very important step for Otis and Ola, because Ola even said, you know, she hasn't been with anyone either before. So it's going to be kind of a first time for both of them potentially. So that should be an interesting relationship to view next season to see where that goes. But obviously it does create the drama of the love triangle and everything, which will inevitably come back at some point. But it was cool to see Otis take those steps and gain a bit of confidence in himself in that way. Kind of come across some of those other issues. I keep saying this stuff like come across, and just like the puns. And I think a huge moment for Otis, obviously, in this episode was that conversation with Jean at the end when she was like, you're 16, you're normal, you're not supposed to have the answers, you're going to be okay. To hear that, you could just see the relief on his face. Like, he was nearly crying in that scene. And it was nice, you know, the whole episode of him confronting her about the book and everything, getting mad at her, quite rightly as well, calling her out for it. Because she was having like a meeting with the publisher and stuff, and you know, changing his name, he still knows that his privacy would have been violated in that way, even if she had changed the name for the book or anything. But Jean kind of realised that he was absolutely right, and I can understand her reasons for, you know, trying to understand him and unpack him to feel close to him again, because I imagine everything that happened with Otis's dad and everything was pretty traumatic for them, and may have pushed them apart a bit and made them distant because, you know, they got emotionally attached and invested in their family unit with the dad, and suddenly that's changed. Like, how do you renegotiate living in your day-to-day household, you know? When my parents split up, it was kind of a bit easier to get through that because I was at uni at the time, so I wasn't really at home anyway. So, you know, coming home for Christmas was weird, the first time, my first holiday back after uni, because it was just my dad now. So that was strange and bizarre, but it wasn't like that's just your day-to-day life. It's suddenly completely new and different because one of your parents isn't there. So I liked them directly addressing that, and Jean realising the error of her ways, but also providing some motivations, and you can really understand why she did those things. Because before it felt a bit like just some light-hearted comedy when she's like, oh, she's sneaking into his room again, checking up all this stuff. but there was some real seriousness behind that and some real heart to why she was doing that. And she was aware she kind of maybe crossed the line there between a therapist and her job and being a mum. So I liked that. And her even saying to Jakob at the end, Otis is the most important person in her life. And again, she wanted to address Otis's feelings for about 2 minutes before she just banged him anyway. But I'm also not too mad because I really like those two together. So it's going to be a very big, complicated thing next season, I'm sure, to have those two be together potentially, and also Otis and Ola. But I think the show will probably address that, and however they go about it, it'll probably be entertaining. So there's that. But I liked the stuff with Jean as well in this one, and Otis finding some catharsis in that chat they had, but also Jean finding that as well. I think she really dealt with what Otis's dad did in that moment, and she took that leap to actually return Jakob's feelings, which I really enjoyed because I like those two together, and hopefully we'll get a bit more of that next season, as long as it doesn't make things weird for Otis and Ola, which it might well do, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's going to be a mess, but they'll power through it, hopefully. So we have that. What else? Very briefly, I love Amy. I would die for Amy. I love that she finally turned her back on those absolute bastards who are still mean to Maeve after everything she's done for them this season as well. Especially, I don't even know what her name was, but when the picture of her was going to get leaked, it wasn't actually going to, but when she was threatened with it and Maeve still helped her through it and everything, even though she'd always been horrible to her, she's gone back to being horrible, like, you cow. That whole kind of clique. I'm glad Amy broke away from that and finally, enough's enough. I'm actually really good friends with Maeve and we're going to hang out now. And it allowed Maeve to not be completely alone at the end because Sean's fucked off again, which is sad, but it does feel in keeping with his character. It just seems like you can't trust him to stick around that much. And it's all the more painful because they had a really nice scene together. When he was saying, you're smarter than me, I'm really proud of you. You're actually going to make something of your life. We'll get a place. I'm going to get a steady job. But maybe deep down he just knew that wasn't in him, so he left again, which he tends to do, sadly, because obviously their mum's not around and now he's gone. So I'm glad that Maeve didn't end the season alone, especially because she went to find Otis as well, and then she saw him with Ola. But she still has Amy there to play games and stuff with. So that was very wholesome, and I love her so much. I hope we get a lot more Amy next season, actually. We had a decent amount overall, I would say. We had one episode in particular I think was quite heavily focused on her. But I'd love even more because I think she's really fun and very sweet. So I'd like to see them explore that a bit more. So yeah, everything with her was great. And Sean, he's clearly a very troubled person. And the fact that Maeve didn't even tell him, that principal guy found your drugs and you might get in trouble with it. She just said enough, I know you're selling those again. It's just one of those things you keep falling back off the wagon, He's not the best influence, but I don't think he's had a particularly great upbringing either. It's kind of the nature-nurture thing coming into it. So I don't know if we're going to see more of him next season, or if this is just going to be a thing now that Maeve kind of sadly has to make peace with the fact that her family aren't always going to be around for her, and she can find family in people like Amy, So all is not lost, but it's life. People are going to leave you and keep coming back and forth like a yo-yo, and I think Sean's one of those person, sadly. But yeah, sadly true to life at times, but a good thing to explore, I guess. Real life, when a show like this really does explore real life stuff, real life issues a lot, and just by the very nature of the show, so the fact that they're doing stuff like that as well, it's interesting. And yeah, having Ola show up again, a lot of fun, and I think we definitely need to spend more time with her next season, I think, because she was kind of in and out of this season a bit. I liked her kind of coming to fix the sink and kind of ignoring Otis at first, and him trying to make amends with her and make amends with Maeve at the same time. That was a nice moment as well. Parallels between the two kind of apologies. And yeah, she seems really cool, so I hope we get to know her a bit better next season. And The Adam and Eric stuff, I guess we should talk about next. I'm in two minds about it. Because the whole, like, oh, you know, gay kid gets bullied, and the bully also turns out to be, you know, potentially gay, bi, I'm not sure exactly what Adam's kind of going to identify himself as, what he's going through, you know, he's still kind of discovering himself at that age anyway. You know, that's been done quite a few times. I don't know if it's necessarily a cliche, I can't really speak to that. But it happens a lot, so he's done some awful stuff to Eric, and I don't know how I feel about them potentially being a thing in that case. Like, it depends what they do with his character next season, if he can like really redeem himself and discover himself and stuff. Clearly there's a lot of self-loathing going on with him, and if he's kind of been having these feelings and this attraction to Eric potentially for a long time, if this is maybe one of the motivations for him picking on him all the time, and giving him a name like Tromboner, kind of even, you know, it's a sexual nickname to give him, so there may be those feelings for quite some time anyway, even when he was with Amy and everything, and just trying to, I don't know, attack him verbally and physically at times could just be him subconsciously trying to bring him down to his level, so it feels like they could be together, because he's just gonna like lower and lower his self-esteem so Eric will be with him, because Eric probably could do better and find a nicer person. Maybe it's that going on, but that's going to be explored more next season, I imagine, because he's now been shipped off to that place, hasn't he, the school. So I guess we'll see what changes he may go through there, what regimen may be forced into him, that. But oh my god, his dad, the worst. And that's another you know, like Eric said, I think you're a bully because your dad was a bully, and I think that's definitely true, so you can't entirely hold it against Adam for that. But he found the dog, so that's nice. But yeah, that was a very complicated issue, and I think I can't really judge how I feel about it yet, and a potential relationship with those two, until I see exactly where the story goes, and if Adam really changes his ways and redeems himself and apologises and stuff. Because Eric clearly, you know, deserves a really nice person, and if Adam can become that, then I guess we'll see. But again, a lot of why Adam's been so horrible to him, I think, does come from his father and some self-loathing, and maybe him still trying to work out who he is. So yeah, it's a complicated thing, but it is a story I've seen done before in other shows, so I'll be interested in seeing how Sex Education handles it. Yeah, I don't know. It's because Adam's been in the background so much this season, I feel like maybe they could have built up to that a bit better, like even more of a kind of a hint. So obviously his struggles in season 1, I guess, not season 1, in episode 1, I guess, could be attributing to it, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see where they go with it. But like that moment when they were in the classroom and Adam just like wanted to like rub their fingers together and stuff like that, you know, that was kind of sweet, and it seems there is kind of some affection there, but also he was like, you tell anyone about this, I'll end you. So, you know, doesn't exactly, you know, kills the mood a bit somewhat. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait and see what happens with that before I really judge where that storyline may go, because they could do something really nice with it, and something really cool with Adam's character, and if it makes Eric happy in the long run and he's happy to be with Adam, if that's going to be a thing, then, you know, that's probably fine, because if it's going to make Eric happy and Eric deserves that happiness, then cool. So yeah, it's a wait and see with that, but quite the turn, I would say. Yeah, looking forward to seeing where that may go. And giving Eric a love interest, you know, is a prospect that they probably should explore. Did it need to be Adam? I don't know, but it could be good for both characters in the long run if this is a relationship they properly delve into, especially once Adam's kind of gone to this place, potentially comes back, or he's just gone, he might just never come back, but I feel like they've started something there, so it'd be odd if he's just written out of the show now. Either way, I guess we'll see. And Adam's dad is the absolute worst. I hate him. I absolutely hate him. He's horrible. The fact that he like lied to Jackson really and kind of allowed him to think, oh yeah, we'll give Maeve a chance if you just swim so we can get my money. Then he was like, I don't take bribes. So that's puts Maeve's future in jeopardy as well. And God, that guy sucks. I hope he gets some sort of comeuppance next season, because my God. But yeah, there was that. And everything with Jackson, I feel so bad for the poor guy. You know, hearing Maeve doesn't love him back, and he like found out his jump under her pillar and everything, that's gonna hurt. But he still immediately after that fought to keep her in school. Like, he's such a good person. I love that. And this is one of the lingering things I think in next season. You know, he still hasn't really had closure with the whole swimming thing with his mum. I think that's still going to be an ongoing thing for him to have to address and say, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't my passion, really. Hopefully that's going to be a big part of his story next season, especially because I don't think it's necessarily going to revolve around a relationship with Maeve, because that seems to be over. But, you know, he still came through and did a nice thing, hoping it would help Maeve out in the long run, even if she doesn't love him. So that's just testament to what a great guy he is. And, you know, the second we started to talk about his anxiety and stuff, he kind of became so relatable to me and easily one of my favourite characters of this season. So hopefully he'll get more justice done to him in season 2. So yeah, kind of broke my heart with him, but maybe he'll get a decent win next season and really address the issues that are weighing on top of him. Because the fact that he didn't want to swim, but he did ultimately for nothing, that really is going to mess with him. And the fact that, you know, principal bastard saying, oh, we care about you and I will consider it, blah, 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 blah. One guy. So yeah, enjoyed Jackson's storyline this season a hell of a lot, and the fact that he still did that for Maeve, even after they kind of just broke up and everything, shows a lot of strength, I think, and just how pure and how much of a great guy he is. So liked everything with him. And Maeve, I loved the speech she gave in her meeting about, you know, potentially why should she be allowed to stay in the school. She is bloody clever, we've seen that. And I'm scared about where that's going to go, because I don't want her to be kicked out of school, because she is super smart, and I want her to do that scheme and do really well in it. And I don't want it to be a matter of all these consequences, you know, with like Sean's drugs and everything. And what she was saying, like, oh, you know, I'm really smart, I just got unlucky in the family department. I don't want that to be like the reason she loses something she really excels in, and that's going to be so sad if that's the case, because she's already lost a lot, even in this episode. So I just want to protect her. So we'll see, I guess, because she covered for Sean, and ultimately that was for nothing because he just pissed off anyway. And then we had Jackson trying to cover for her and help her out. That went nowhere either. That didn't kind of pan out to anything. So we had a few wins for some characters, a few losses for a lot more. And I guess that's life. So they did a great job showing that. And yeah, I guess we'll see. But I bloody adore Maeve. By far my favourite. Love what they've done with her. Love that there's so many different layers to her. And the fact that the show chooses to kind of focus on her intelligence as well, I adore. I love that Otis kind of made amends with her and stole a trophy for her, but also the pain when she went to see him and he was with Ola, and my heart is going to hurt for those two next season. But yeah, we've had some incredible characters be introduced. I absolutely adore her, and I can't wait to see where that storyline may or may not go next season. But hell of a finale, hell of a first season. I can see why this really took off and became such a smash hit, and why we're getting season 2 and season 3. Hopefully more beyond that. But yeah, can't wait to get into season 2 and catch up with the show. We'll be doing that within the next few months. We'll caught up, which will be fun. And yeah, it's an incredible episode, lots of twists and turns. You know, some things I'm like, I guess we'll have to wait and see where they go with it. But yeah, that's kind of the fun of watching TV shows, I guess. You know, they're always going to leave something. And they certainly did. And I look forward to seeing a lot of these plot threads and characters explored even further in season 2. Now we've got like the proper, all the main cast and the setting and the themes and everything well established. I think season 2 has the potential to do some amazing stuff with all of them. So very excited for that. Absolutely adored this finale and this whole first season. I hope you've enjoyed my reactions to season 1. And I'm looking forward to getting into season 2, which will be happening very, very soon. So I know I'm certainly excited. But yeah, thank you for your support on these reactions to this first season. I've had some really nice comments. And yeah, been a hell of a season 1. Look forward to season 2. And until then, thanks for watching.